Yo. What's up, everybody?
Hello, welcome to the Blind Wave podcast where we talk about things and stuff.
What?
Blind Wave and not. How's everyone doing? Welcome. Glad you guys could join us today.
Pretty good. Speaking of stuff we're not going to talk about.
Oh.
We're not going to talk about.
Well, we should start with the Doomsday Cast stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Because everyone is asking us about Doomsday Cast announcement, which I've heard that there's been an announcement for Doomsday Cast.
Yep. We had some people tell us like what this announcement was, and I personally was like, that sounds like the worst thing I could possibly watch.
It sounds like something I don't want to know.
I have no desire to look at that.
So I'm not personally interested in the way they're announcing it. I would rather wait for something else, whether it's the movie itself or I don't know, perhaps a trailer, maybe. But there's just a lot of aspects in it where like just knowing everything that's gonna happen, I don't think is as much fun as experiencing what's gonna happen, I guess.
Yeah.
Like there's some stuff in like Wolverine and Deadpool that if I just knew what was gonna happen as opposed to, or who was gonna be showing up or whatever, as opposed to watching it and experiencing it, I don't think it would be as much fun. So I kind of agree with Eric, and there's some aspects where I think trailers are really good, and I love the marketing aspect of it to get people to want to watch, but I think there's also the idea of being able to experience the storyteller's aspect of the movie or the show or any of that kind of stuff. That I enjoy that experience, I think, more than just knowing news sometimes.
Yeah, like I think sometimes if the casting is maybe crazy or something, if I know about it beforehand, I'm not distracted during the movie or something. Like I kind of had time to prepare myself for that, especially if it's like an adaptation and it goes in a direction that is kind of different. But I largely agree that it's better to let the storyteller and for all that stuff to happen on the screen.
Yeah. You know, I mean, this is marketing. Like what they did was they put something out, people got super excited by it, and then that's selling tickets.
Which is great.
That's great. I'm happy for people.
I know there's been a lot of people who have either given up on MCU or don't find it as interesting as it used to be or any of that, and I'm still interested enough that I'm like I would be going to watch Doomsday. Like that sounds like something that I want to see already anyway. So I don't think I'm the target audience necessarily for I need to be hyped up to go see it. I'm probably already wanting to go see it. I just want to, there's things that happen in a lot of MCU that if I just, Civil War, I think is a good example where the excitement in the trailer is where I had excitement for Spider-Man, not whenever it got to, oh, New York. Okay, well, we're getting into the Spider-Man stuff now, There's the different response I have there versus my first time seeing the movie without that knowledge, I think would have been very different. So,
yeah, I mean, I am not saying, like, we're not saying, like, people that don't have this view are wrong or anything like that. Like, I'm sure a lot of people really enjoy that type of thing, and it doesn't affect the way they watch stuff. We often, or at least I should say, I often have a lot of people coming to me and being like, how do you still, like, you seem to like a lot of stuff that a lot of people don't like. It's like, well, I don't engage with pre-gaming media. I post-game media. Post-gaming media is fun. I just don't pre-game it because when you experience something as a storyteller is telling it, like that's the best time to find something out, at least in my opinion. And I understand that, well, trailers kind of are that, and that is marketing, and we do a lot of trailers, but we certainly don't do all trailers. We usually do like one trailer to get a feel of something, especially if we don't know about it. And I mean, we're a reaction channel. People need to know that we're going to cover something, and a trailer is a good way of doing that sometimes,
Sure. And we did cover, they had the Doom announcement. There was like in a convention, one of the cons, I think, or one of the panels they had where they announced that. And we did check that one out. It was around a lot. I don't remember if one of us had already heard or not, but I think knowing that is like one thing versus knowing like a lot more. And I don't think I need to know a lot more. Sometimes I just want to know a little bit.
A little bit.
So
I like to be teased. Teaser trailers are fine.
So just because I would say just because like, just because I had a shot of whiskey doesn't mean I need the whole bottle. Like one of those kind of things. Like I am interested enough to see and have an idea of like, ooh, this could go in a lot of different ways, and I'm really excited for this. But I want to have surprises that I feel like I got that I got in Wolverine and Deadpool, or that I got in a Spider-Man No Way Home or something. So
yeah, and I had a really good point. I just lost track. Swing back. Pass.
Gotcha. Okay.
Well, I mean, I guess I should say, like, I have my social media, my internet consumption pretty locked down to avoid all spoilers when stuff that I know I'm interested in. The only weakness of that is chat. Is people, saying stuff in chat, sometimes very innocently, sometimes not. Rarely not innocently, but mostly innocently. So probably won't be looking at chat much today or the next couple of days. I don't know. We'll see. But I wish to preserve that feeling for later, not for now. So
no, I get you. There's I don't know. I mean, I think there's just the aspect of I don't want to lose my childlike wonder and excitement. Sometimes I think that happens when I know things before and going into stuff.
Yeah.
I think
I
some
get
people do that too. The thing that I dislike is when someone watches a movie and is like, this movie wasn't that entertaining.
Yeah.
There was no twists or surprises. But if they're also someone who like really likes to look up a lot of stuff like what's coming beforehand or leaks and stuff like that too.
Sure.
And I know this one isn't a leak. This one is like, here's stuff that they've announced, which is really cool. And I'm excited for a lot of the news because people seem so excited for it. I know that I would love whatever the news is.
Yeah.
But I want to have those surprises. Like I love like reveals and twists that like if you already found out beforehand, it doesn't let the movie, you know, there's a lot of movies that I've seen those shirts where they have like every twist ending on them.
Yeah.
And it's like all those movies have such a different feel when you know that twist, or if you don't and you get to it and you're like, oh my gosh, that's what it is. Like, and I love that feeling. Like, this is not the same as that exactly.
Yeah.
But I find it in the same kind of sense of like, if I can hold off, I'll hold off and do what I can for it.
And to be fair, like we don't know the actual content or anything. Could be that I watched the trailer of the movie that had this information, and then I go back and watch this thing or whatever it is. And oh, okay, that's probably not a big deal.
Sure.
You know, could be. Like, I protect myself.
Yeah, and as long as we stay away with it, I guarantee you guys will get a reaction to this at some point. It will just be in a different medium. It might be in a trailer, or it might be in the movie if we react to the movie in the future or whatever it is. So it's one of those things where, like, instead of having a reaction to words on a page or anything, having a reaction to something actual visually there. Kind of like when we do trailers and we do, like, I think video game trailers are one of the best ones. Like, sometimes the announcement is all that is what they're showing, and then when you know what that announcement is and you watch it, it's not as big. So
like, imagine if we knew that Silver had been cast in Cobra Kai, what we would have lost.
Yeah, it would have been. It would have robbed me of one of my favorite experiences of the last decade. I mean, and look, I understand the position that Marvel and Disney is in. Like, this is a huge production with what I'm assuming going to be a huge amount of very high-profile actors. They literally cannot keep this stuff from leaking. So they're going to do some type of announcements. I'm sure that's what this was.
Yeah.
You know? Like, I get that. And you don't want people to find this stuff out in leaks. You want to try to create it somehow and get them hyped, especially if it's going to have engagement for your channels and your stuff. So I get it. This is just the time we're in. I just choose to not engage with that thing.
Yeah. No, and, like, usually we try to also take into account what sometimes it's editors or community or, you know, the staff that we have and stuff too, and like what they know about it and what they think too, so that we can kind of gauge that a little bit. Sometimes, like, the reason I went and watched Spider-Man No Way Home in theaters was because I didn't think that I could stay away from the spoilers enough, and that I would get someone would say something Spider-Man related to me, and it would be a thing that I would know.
Yeah, I get you.
I went and saw that in theaters right away, but you know, I stayed away from the Ghostbusters theater experience so that I could also do reactions on the channel and stuff and share that experience with everyone that watches. So this may be one of those, and I think our experience sometimes will be heightened when we don't know stuff versus when we do know stuff. Maybe not every time, but I think sometimes. Like Rick said, like Silver. Knowing that actor was going to be involved, you already know what's going to happen. Or you create something in your head of what you think is going to happen. And then sometimes that can be very different too.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for everyone who has seen it and is excited for what's been announced and excited for what's to come. I wish I could share that excitement with you now, but I guarantee we will share that excitement with you later. Is where I'm at with it right now. So please, for the time being, as things go forward, like we won't be talking about it. We won't, like, don't try to tell us like who it was or anything, because I agree with Eric. Lots of times my main spoilers that I end up getting come from the excited community members who want to share the excitement, and it robs from me being able to share that with more, really, from anyone, because lots of times it's text. They don't even get to see me reacting to what the text is or something, you know?
Sure, exactly.
So,
unless it's a literal reaction emoji.
Yep, I get you.
So, but as things go, maybe things will change. Maybe something else will come out that we want to cover or whatnot. But I'm excited, especially with it being like another Avengers movie. Like what directions they're gonna go. I haven't even gotten to see the new Captain America movie yet.
Yeah, me either.
So I'm excited for that. I think the only things I know about that is from like the 2 trailers we watched. So I'm hoping for some fun fun story beats from that I don't know yet.
Yeah. I was looking up before we started because it was something I was thinking of. It's like I don't love to look at marketing material, but trailers, by definition, are marketing material.
Yeah.
Even though there is a lot of art and editing choices put into it that can make for like fantastic pieces of media all on their own, you know. And I was just trying to look up like what are like the best trailers of all time, and some of that list included stuff like. Oh, what's that found footage movie? The Blair Witch Project.
Blair Witch.
Like that. Apparently, that trailer hit. A lot of people were like, "That's what got started with." Like, no, this is real.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's that belief there. If you just knew, hey, there's a found footage movie coming out, and you know it's gonna have this person's cat. You know, like that would rob the feeling of that movie. You know, but so I also understand the hypocrisy of like, well, you watch the trailers sometimes and you don't. So, but I was just looking up some of this list of trailers. I don't know. Do you guys have any like trailers that you can think in your mind like that was one of the best?
That were the best?
Yeah.
I mean, episode 1.
The episode 1, the beginning trailer it's amazing. Yeah, you're right. That was the one, at least for my brother's generation, that went to the theater to go see it 9 times because we didn't have the internet.
Yeah, like that one's amazing.
Yeah. I quite like Inception's trailer. I feel like that was so good it changed the way trailers were done for the next 10 years.
It certainly changed the audio.
It certainly did. Yeah.
I'm trying to think of a trailer that stands out for being like really good.
I love
the first thing I think of is a trailer that I'm like, man, this ruined the movie.
one of my favorites is I think it's Man of Steel trailer 3, maybe. And I remember it being like the first trailer I saw for that movie. Because it starts with like this static on the screen, and it's like different languages hearing the words "You are not alone." I'm like, holy shit, aliens! And it's a Superman trailer, and that was awesome, you know. And it's Zod telling the world, "If you don't give Kal-El, I will destroy your world," you know. But like, what a cool experience that was, having no idea what it was when you're watching it. Like that's the stuff I really love. It's like a first initial watch that surprises you in ways that you don't expect.
I don't know if it's like if you would call it a trailer. It might be too early for like what we would consider now to be a trailer, but a lot of the promotional stuff that Hitchcock did for his films.
Yeah.
And like Psycho in particular stands out where like it was him on camera and he would be saying like no one is admitted into the theaters after 10 minutes. And just like him hyping up the movie and the twists and the turns and the surprises and that, like, you know, you are not allowed to tell anyone after you leave this 10 minutes after it starts. I was like, well, that's an awesome way of not saying anything, but still getting people very excited.
What was
Definitely,
that for?
yeah.
Psycho.
Psycho. Interesting.
I do remember the Batman v Superman trailer that just had like it was just Batman on a roof. And he turns on the bat signal and he looks up into the rainy sky and Superman is illuminated looking down on him. And that's it. That's all it was.
That's a great one.
Like, that's not my favorite movie in the world, but that trailer was freaking sweet, dude.
Sure. And it works with the title and everything. Like, you get that hype there. You're like, ooh.
Yeah.
It's like the next trailer for that I was like, man, why'd they do that?
Yeah, no,
Like,
I get you.
man,
Sometimes trailers can go a little far, too.
Sure.
That's the marketing side of it. Like, Suicide Squad. That trailer performed so well and was so awesome that the studio was like, oh man, people loved that. Let's have the editors edit the whole movie.
Yep.
And it's a different art form. It doesn't necessarily work the other way.
Yeah. No. Yeah, I mean, trailers are made for the marketing side typically. But I do like, like you said, it's marketing, but the Blair Witch thing where it's pushing it as real found footage.
Sure.
Right? Was so good. Like, I felt like whenever I was going to watch it, I'm like, this is real. Like, I remember being younger, being like, dude, this was a real thing. He's out in the woods. What happened? Oh, my God, where do these people go? Like,
yeah.
You don't quite get that as much anymore.
Right.
I'm really curious, because I've never seen them, but I want to go back and watch Predator trailers and see what they showed.
Yeah, that would be cool. That would be like a fun theme podcast of, like, trailers you never saw of your favorite movies or something.
Yeah, because, like, it, if you don't know what's going to happen in that movie, that's one of the biggest twists, I feel like, in any movie.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I get you. If you don't know.
Yeah, like my dad. I was watching the movie and he came upstairs and was telling me like it was one of his favorite experiences in the theater because he had no idea what that movie was about.
Mhm.
He went in and like an Arnold action movie or whatever, and then it changes.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, I don't know. And there's lots of times too where I've had movies that I think going in with no knowledge made the experience so much better. Like me watching Jojo Rabbit having no idea what it was about, and then having Melanie watch Jojo Rabbit having no idea what it was about was so much fun.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't imagine what the trailer was like, but I'm sure I would have a much better idea of what Jojo Rabbit's about watching a trailer for it.
Yeah, sure, I get you.
But I was like, I don't know what this is.
Yeah.
And it was a lot of fun. And there's been other movies.
It is
like
an
that, too.
interesting thing though, because sometimes like for movies to hit you, you have to be in a certain mood. You know, like if you're not in a mood for a sci-fi, like being thrust into a sci-fi world suddenly might be like, I'm not ready, or I'm not into it right now.
Sure.
So I definitely understand that this isn't a hard rule for everything and everyone.
No.
You know, but it's definitely served me in terms of just enjoying stories, but also in terms of Blind Wave. I would rather have that type of stuff, in the content.
Yeah.
So it makes it just so like I'm never tempted anymore. I'm always just like, no, super easy for me. Just don't do something.
Someone's making me think of the so they mentioned about Free Willy. And I think
Okay.
Free Willy, like their marketing, their trailer and their like the front of like the poster,
The poster,
you know?
yeah.
That
Oh.
maybe it's Free Willy 2. But I want to say it's Free Willy. Cuz I think they made a Free Willy 2, but I'm pretty sure it's Free Willy.
Pretty sure
1.
Free Willy 1 and 2 have almost the exact same poster.
Yeah. It
So
might
you mean
be.
the poster is the end of the movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so is the title.
It is. It's true.
Sure, yeah. I guess so.
Yeah.
If you're looking at it that way. But also, I think another one was always Quarantine. Did the exact same
Quarantine,
thing. Like
yep.
both of those, I think the trailers
Yeah.
like show you too much.
Too
and
much.
The posters show you like too much, and
Yeah, that happens sometimes.
There's a Star Trek movie that does that too.
Man.
Yeah. There's one of like the biggest moments. Like, I could see why you would put it on a poster because if I saw that, I was like, I have to know how that happens.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you want to be shocked that happens in the movie.
Yeah. Dude, I know, like I loved watching it and it was so much fun, but the Arrowverse was always so bad about like
dude, so bad.
posting what was coming that I was always so shocked to find out from like an editor or from Q&As or
Q&As,
whatever
yeah.
it was, being like, dude, they announced this last season that it was coming, and I'm like, dang, really? That sucks. So people would know like, oh, this character is going to be in the show, but like that kind of ruined a lot of the surprise because sometimes it wasn't that big of a cameo. It was just the fact that they showed up. You're like, oh, dude, that's so cool that they showed up.
Yeah.
You know?
Definitely.
I don't know. It was just some of those times.
I'd be curious because I feel like I have a lot of examples why doing it this way works for me, but I'd be curious other people that do it the other way, what examples they have. Like, actually, it's better because of this.
Why does it enhance your
Yeah, like,
experience
well,
and
because
what
I
it's
did
like
know
for 'em?
beforehand, it actually made it better. Like, I'm sure that's the case.
Yeah.
I just can't really think of
Sure.
what this would be.
Not for you.
Yeah, so that'd be interesting to find out.
Well, there's one instance I can think of maybe for us.
Yeah.
Where you guys, and it was quickly rectified, but you got to the end of Dune, the movie,
Mm-hmm.
and were very shocked because you didn't realize it was a part one.
Yeah, it had no ending.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I get you. But there's a certain, like that anger or disappointment comes from a place of like, but I'm invested, which is fun. Like that happens so much in Doctor Who, where that damn sound would happen. I'd be like, this is a part 2, and Aaron would be laughing at me. And I'm like, no, surely they could wrap this up in 5 minutes. Give me 5 more minutes. Nope, part 2. So I love that. That's, I can appreciate that as well. Oh man, you're right, Dune.
Dune.
Across the Spider-Verse?
Uh,
Yeah, that happened to me too. I didn't realize it was a part 2. Yep.
Sure. Which I mean, sometimes it's good to be able to get to that point. You're like, wait, what? No, I wanted more. But yeah.
Yeah. Sure, I get you.
But anyway, all that to say, like, we will probably get into some kind of the Doomsday information at some point in the future. I am definitely interested in watching the movie. I'm interested in watching Thunderbolts.
Yeah.
And, you know, we're watching Daredevil right now, which has been really awesome. So we will get something to that.
Yeah, and also I want to thank the people that we have around us that help us with this, because I would not be able to navigate this type of thing without someone being hey, look out for this thing. I know that you care, so I can help fill in those gaps. So we have staff around us. We have mods on Discord that, you know, people in our chats that help mod too. And I don't think we say thank you enough for that service that's done, because it's helped me enjoy more things than not throughout the years.
Someone in chat said, imagine finding out who Savitar was before it got shown.
Oh.
Was that information out way early?
Did they know? No.
I don't know.
I mean, you could have theories.
Yeah, but like, was it promotional type of things, or was it announced?
Rick, you're never going to watch that, are you?
I don't know what it even
The
is
Flash?
referring to.
We're talking about The Flash. It has enough time where we can explain to Rick why it was so cool.
I don't know. I want to spoil people who haven't. There's people who haven't watched.
All right, if you haven't seen The Flash and you want to see it, just skip ahead 2 minutes.
If you're watching this live, I'll go like this when we're good.
So Rick, in The Flash, there's another speedster, okay?
Yeah.
And he's faster than The Flash. Granted, this happens every season, but this guy's like giant and mechanical.
He had like a crazy Iron Man suit looking
stab
thing
you with
or
stuff.
something.
Anyway, it's nuts. And he kept
Okay.
saying like, "I'm the future Flash," you know. And you find out, no, it's not that like he's the future, like, you know, like, oh, I am the last, you know, like that. I am. He fucking opens his armor and future Barry pops out. It's like, I told you before, I am the future Flash.
So it's not. So it's not. I am the future, comma Flash.
Yeah.
It is. I am the future Flash.
Yeah.
Oh, so cool. So dumb, but so cool.
Yeah.
That sounds pretty great.
It was pretty great. It was really good. It was enjoyable.
Yeah.
But if it was something that they announced early on, that's the kind of stuff that Arrowverse would put out there.
That would've
and
been terrible.
You'd already know. But
Yeah.
I love the idea of you just think I'm the future speedster, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm the future next you or whatever.
I am
No.
the future Flash.
Sounds like
good.
a lot of instances of masked wrestlers in wrestling.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, masked wrestlers are superheroes, right?
That's
I mean,
true.
the belts and the underpants. You know, Superman has his undershorts, right? Anyway, Aaron, you can do the arm
We
thing.
good? Unmute.
Good.
Welcome back, everybody.
Oh, great stuff, man.
I can't believe it was Superman.
Damn it, Rick.
Oh, sorry. What?
All that work for nothing. Alrighty. Well, how's everyone been? I have been holding on to something too that I want to talk about, but
Oh.
we did have, I guess, we pick up super chats on the way so we don't miss them.
Yeah. Okay.
Cerulean had a super chat, says, will you guys react to Sailor Moon Crystal? I don't know. I've never watched any Sailor Moon.
I've watched Sailor Moon on Toonami when I was waiting for DBZ to start.
Yep.
I mean, it looks sweet. You know, they got moon power. The one dude has a mask and a tuxedo and a cape.
He does.
Can't go wrong with that.
Can't.
So I'd be
Yeah.
interested just to you know, fill some curiosity I've had for 25 years.
Sounds like a good thing to put in your recommendations over
Yes.
Marvel.com.
Is Crystal a re-release shorter version of it?
It
or
is
something?
it is a different series, I think.
A new series entirely?
I believe so.
I'll have to talk to our resident Sailor Moon expert.
You won't, yeah, right?
I think Crystal is Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Okay, so it's like a retelling, maybe, or trying to get
With
closer.
the
The manga.
with maybe
Yeah.
the real ending if they didn't have an ending before or whatever.
The original, I think, was a lot of filler.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, put on your recommendations. Maybe. I probably won't say no to anything specifically. I just don't know when to say. We're definitely gonna do that one.
The only thing I really do know about it is its use of repeat animation.
Yes.
You know, anytime you have characters transform or the Zords from Power Rangers, come together, it's here's 2.5 minutes. I don't have to remake, every week. The shots that I have to animate are way less because I'm just reusing a lot of animation. I know that Sailor Moon did that because they transform. All the sailors transform,
Oh, do they?
and it's always the same shots.
Yep.
Like a Mighty Morphin Power Rangers
Yeah.
transform, or like you
Well,
said
like the
about
mo-
Megazords. Are
Like
they,
the Power Rangers, when the Megazords come out of the Earth, that's 2.5 minutes that they don't have to cover in the
Sure.
show because
Gotcha.
they've already done it. You know?
Gotcha. They do that. Okay.
So, Aaron, you can think of it more like a bin transformation.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's always the same shot. Captain Planet, when he comes together, it's always the same shots.
Gotcha. Yeah, sure.
So I know Sailor Moon
It's always saving
did
money.
that a lot, and it was kind of like it's kind of memed for that.
And Crumb with a super chat says, "Hey guys, loving Evangelion reactions. Can't wait for the future ones coming."
Oh, we just recorded one before we got on podcast.
Yep, I'm still crying.
Yeah,
On the inside.
that's a show, man. That is a show. It's a show where like I have so many questions, but I'm not even sure I want the answers. It's because it's like the lack of answers that make it compelling sometimes, And with it being so like almost like religious coded, like that really works for it. Because one of the interesting things about faith is coming up against things that you don't know or you're not certain of.
Interpretation.
Exactly.
Interpretation of the uninterpretable.
Mm-hmm. So I'm looking forward for you watching that.
All right.
So what were you holding on to, Aaron?
Oh, well, through my week, one of my things I've had has been Dark Souls.
Yes.
And I said to Rick that I think this last Monday's Dark Souls he would have enjoyed the stream for. One reason was while I was playing in the dark room here, Calvin crawled on the floor and was like underneath my chair basically. And when I died at one point, he grabbed my leg and my foot and was like, "Ah!" and screamed at me and kind of scared me a little bit there. But that was just one crazy moment. I had a boss that was a summonable player character.
Yes.
And that's the boss that you fight, right?
We heard about him.
Last time
What was his name?
Last time it was Big Dick McGee.
McGee.
That was the guy who was summoned. That's who I fought, and I left it there. And I was like, all right, chat. Well, if you want to make a character or whatever and prepare yourself, maybe you can be the next Big Dick McGee. And I did some stuff, and then I went to go fight that boss. And when I got to that boss, the first guy that got summoned's name was Antonio. And I fought a little bit, and I lost, and then I had to try again. And I went back another time. I fought Antonio again. It was the same guy, I think. Same weapons and stuff. Fought him. I think it being the same guy made it a little easier because I already knew what he did before.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it got to the point where he started just running away
Huh.
because I already killed the ads that were helping him, and now I just had him to deal with.
Now
and he
you-
was like, I got to get away. And
You're the Dark Soul now.
I slowly was able to whittle him down from him running away and
Uh-huh.
killed him. I assume he just didn't have enough health anymore. But
Sure.
So I beat Antonio.
Okay.
Take that, Antonio. And then after that, I was getting ready. There was a dragon boss I found, and he was an optional boss.
Yeah.
So I went to go fight him. And someone in chat, I don't know if they're still in chat now, Grievous, they said that it sucks. They were hoping I would die because they went and they had made a character and prepared a character to try to fight me. And I beat Antonio, and they were upset. So I was like, well, he's like, you can see me over here. I'll be by the dragon, and you can just see my character because the little summon shows up, and you can click A and see him and stuff.
Right.
He made a character and named him Neil Breen.
Okay.
That he was wanting Neil Breen to be the boss battle
That would have been perfect.
that I had to fight,
Come, Aaron.
but he didn't
Come
get
to
to
me.
do that. So then the worst
Aw.
timeline happens, where me and chat decide that what I'm going to do instead is summon Neil Breen to my world
Okay.
and fight the dragon with Neil Breen as my ally.
Uh-huh.
And I have to embrace the Breen
Yeah.
in order to fight this dragon. So it turned into me, Neil Breen, and another NPC that was just there. And the three of us raid boss battled against this dragon. And I was like, man, Rick would have especially loved if Neil Breen would have been a boss battle.
I would have. Yes. That sounds like quite the fateful finding.
But the fact that I had to fight with Neil Breen, at one point I was like, no, Neil Breen, because it says Neil Breen has died. No, and I'm like, for Neil.
I can't believe you've done this. I can't help you this time, Neil.
Was your team name Twisted Pair?
No, there was a trio of us, Rick. A trio.
Tree.
I was just gonna say Aaron became the Twisted Pair.
No, stop
You
making
know,
all these.
what would be a fun thing to
Breen
do a
jokes.
Neil Breen impression contest, because I don't know if I can remove that much emotion from my voice. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
That might be fun. We should do like a Neil Breen impression contest one day.
We
had that Calvin here though, because he's our impression master.
He did. There's footage of me doing Tommy Wiseau impression, but not Neil Breen.
Yeah, I mean Tommy Wiseau has passion compared. I mean, no, just passion in general. He does. Neil Breen is a wonder. A wonder.
Like Evangelion, inexplicable.
Yeah, exactly. There might be answers. I do not want to know them.
But yeah, no, it was a fun stream.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it. I got to fight with Neil Breen.
What kind of weapon did Neil Breen wield?
He had like 2 scimitar kind of weapons.
All right.
Like maybe that's your twisted pair. I don't know.
That might be the twisted pair.
But yeah, it's. I think there's some highlights kind of things that I saved for shorts and whatnot, and it'll be next Monday will be my last one. I think there's only one boss I have left.
Damn.
And I got to a bonfire, and the world looked very bleak, and I said I'll go into that world later.
Okay. Last
Monday,
one.
Monday, I will probably play until I finish that last boss, and I don't know how long it'll take me.
You got to go to that stream then. You never know how long it'll be. I was like, I will play God of War until I leave Valhalla.
Yeah, right.
12 hours later, I did.
I have like 70 deaths that I can die that I'll still be good with, and I'm sure I won't die 70 times. But I said that kind of stuff before, where I don't know.
I believe in miracles.
Man. Trying to think of like Neil Breen, who would be his boss battle, like the president of the bank. And he fights a lot of people, you know.
He does, and wins easily.
But they never have names.
No.
Anyway, I can't be thrown into a Neil Breen conversation. I'll have too much fun and bore everyone.
Good.
Except for Rick.
I do see. Sorry, I've been looking at chat. There's still a lot of people
at your own peril, Aaron.
Not on Twitch, but in YouTube, being like, "This doesn't make any sense. How they can avoid the spoilers? It's not a spoiler and stuff." But I think we will do our best, and if things change, like I said, we'll let you guys know. But the Doom spoiler thing all occurred after the announcement of everything, not beforehand.
Yeah.
And all of this stuff here that we have now, like the idea that the public will be talking about it, it matters on what we look at public-wise, and I don't look at any announcement stuff usually. I avoid that stuff and usually wait on other people to be like, hey, here's this, here's people asking for this. It's why we have the trailer channel in Discord. It's why we have staff around us to help, like, hey, here's some things. Editors who are like, oh, Aaron's going to love this, Eric's going to love this, Rick's going to love, like, not even just like, hey, this is like something that we think that people would enjoy. Sometimes it's specific to an individual knowing like, oh, they're going to like this stuff a lot. So
yeah, I get you.
We will do our best. Sometimes things happen, but I think a lot of us in the way that we try to use the internet nowadays, like I typically don't get anything where it's talking publicly about like I'm not seeing I'm not watching the Tonight Show where they're interviewing Anthony Mackie talking about Captain America movie or anything, And I will see that stuff afterwards lots of times, but not usually before.
I also understand like the privileged position that I have in that like I get all of my TV and movie talk out during the workday.
Sure.
And when I go home, it's not what I'm doing, Like I'll watch like Seinfeld, but there's no new stuff to spoil about that, I'll watch stuff that I don't think we're ever going to cover on the channel. I'll do that type of thing.
I'm watching through the X-Files right now.
Yeah, so I understand it's, when people say like it's going to be so hard to avoid, like, we're not really in an area where like I'm going to be at the local Walmart and someone's come up, did you hear about that thing? It's like, not really. People aren't really going to do that.
I did get spoiled once.
Yeah?
From my physical therapist.
Oh, no. What happened?
Well, man, what was airing at the time? It's been whenever I broke my knee, so it's been years now.
Yeah, sure.
But like he was a big Star Wars and Marvel fan.
Yeah,
and like he knew what I did, and so he was excited to have someone to talk about.
Oh,
that sort of
sure,
thing with.
Yeah.
And like one of the things I can't remember what it was, but I hadn't seen it yet.
Yeah.
And he was getting into talking about it. I was like, no, you must stop.
Oh yeah. Whenever when we were doing Gravity Falls, my brother's 2 sons are huge Gravity Falls fans. So the first time I saw them after we had started that. They came over. They wanted to start talking about it. Kenny's like, no. Yeah. Trying to stop them. I don't think I got spoiled on anything, but they were. I mean, I know they said something that I shouldn't have known, but I didn't know what it was, so I didn't even commit to memory.
There was a thing at home because the kids had watched Gravity Falls.
Yeah, sure.
And we were talking something, whatever, and like, oh yeah, Dad's watching Gravity Falls now, and Kanan was like, oh well, and he started to say something, and like everyone else at the table was like, no. And Kanan felt like, oh, but it was such a funny moment of them being like, we don't know, sorry, Kanan, we didn't know what you're gonna say, but you can't tell Dad anything. Like you can ask him questions to tell you, but don't like, hey, did you watch this episode yet? And he didn't get there. They just were afraid of what he was gonna ask. So I do remember that.
Yeah, I've had to do that with Evie a few times.
There was a guy at the gas station who would often start talking about anime that I would just be like, sorry.
Yeah, like imagine having this stance, but you run a comic book shop. Like there'd be no way.
No.
Right? Every customer that came would be, hey, did you hear about that thing? Because they generally want to have someone to talk to this stuff about.
For sure.
So I get that.
So I have to do no contact delivery because I was having the delivery guys start to talk to me about stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's, it's a bit of a sacrifice because I'm sure people coming to the channel want us to talk about it and see it because they are excited and want us, to talk about with us. So I get it. So it's.
I wanted to talk about Evangelion.
Yeah. I want to talk about
20 years.
I want to talk about Terminator Dark Fate.
we need to watch that one.
20 years is much longer, though. You're right.
There's
I would love when, you know what? I want to say I want Rick to get our Dragon Ball Abridged jokes, but I kind of enjoy more that he half gets them and doesn't understand why Aaron and Calvin know them.
At first, I just assumed that Aaron was just misspeaking, as he often does.
Yeah, sure.
What do you mean? I try to say all my stuff right. Usually.
Yeah.
Senza bean. I don't know.
Oh, that's funny.
So many good things.
It does feel like we are from different universes, and like we stepped into this one together.
Yeah.
And like he says things that are almost
That's almost
correct.
right.
Yeah.
That's almost right, but it's also almost wrong.
It's like you're both like Latin-based languages.
Yeah.
You can kind of get it.
Clothes bean.
Funny.
I don't know. Muffin buns, yes. No, Rick should see a bridge. A bridge is fun. I enjoyed it a lot. I did not get Dragon Ball Z that much. Whenever I tried to watch some of it back when I was younger, I remember being at a college dorm with a friend. We were watching it, and I'm like, yeah, this seems all right. But Dragon Ball Z Abridged, I don't know, gelled better for me, I guess. I don't know why.
Sure, I get you.
And then it made me want, and then that's when I started watching Dragon Ball.
Oh, dude.
It was after that.
What a shock that is.
Yeah, that was also very different. So, yeah. Nobody wants to talk about Dark. No, people want to talk about Terminator Dark Fate.
Huh?
Someone's like, nobody wants to talk about Terminator Dark Fate.
I know. That's why we need to talk about it.
We need to do a pick on that.
I know.
We have a lot of our movies kind of figured out. So a lot of movies that are coming down the timeline, I guess, of everything.
There's literally not enough time and
It can't be worse than Neil Breen, right?
No, not at all. No, of course not. No. Don't listen to these people.
I did get a very exciting Blu-ray delivered to my house the other day, Megalopolis.
Oh, I want to watch that.
Me too.
I badly want to watch that.
I don't know what that is.
I've heard so many great things.
It might come around in November.
Yeah?
Oh, man.
We'll see. I haven't watched it yet.
Okay.
Wait, did I see a trailer for it?
No.
Do I know anything about it?
No.
How do you know about it?
Because it's not a franchise that I have blocked.
Directed by Francis Ford Coppola.
Yeah, it's Coppola and Adam Driver.
Adam Driver. Yep.
Adam Driver.
I don't know if we want to tell Aaron more. Maybe we want him to have no expectation at all.
Did we not watch a trailer for this? Because something about it sounds familiar.
I've brought it up before.
Let me check. I mean, I often forget things that we've done trailers for, but
I've never forgotten anything.
Except that Pac-Man game from earlier this morning.
I think you made that up, Rick.
I did not.
I don't think we've ever seen that Labyrinth of Shadow or Shadow Labyrinth or whatever game before.
Someone go out and find us reacting to that. It must have been the part of a a Nintendo Direct or a PlayStation showcase or something. But
maybe you watched on your own. You just think that we did.
No.
Because we watched so much stuff together.
I watched it here with you.
I don't know. I think you're trying to trick me.
Yeah, we did a trailer without Rick. Rick was not in it. We did it 10 months ago.
For Megapolis?
Uh-huh.
Okay. All right. I feel like I remember something about Adam Driver and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
I'm
You
excited.
guys saw it during the Game Awards?
Well, the Game Awards? That sounds right.
I think Chad's trying to work with Rick
No,
and trick me.
1,000%.
We did a reaction to the teaser trailer 10 months ago.
I was trying to think of like how specific my memory is.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I cannot remember everything I've ever put in the dishwasher and where it is, but I can remember everything I put the last time and where it is. If that makes sense.
Interesting. Sure, yeah. Well, you developed a pattern, and now you're trying to keep that pattern, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how, like, I'll misplace something. My wife will be like, it's under your chair, under the third leg, you know, out in the back is where you dropped it. And I've seen it, and so I know where it is. She just remembers where it is. It's like trying to find the ketchup.
So she saw you drop it like somewhere?
Well, she didn't see me drop it. She just has, in her peripheral, has seen it and has it in her mind, you know?
Like I have a really tough time scanning and finding things, but if I put something somewhere, I will never forget where that thing is.
You also have this amazing ability of just, like, reading quickly.
Yeah.
You know, like, sometimes, I mean, I like having subtitles on stuff, but sometimes when I'm really, really invested in something, I take them off because I feel like I'm dividing my attention, you know?
Sure.
But there are times like we're doing mailbag, and the first sentence is, "Don't have Rick look at this," and I'll be like, and he'll be like, "I've already seen the 5 subjects. I don't know the details, but I know what the context," because you just like glance over and absorb information.
Yeah, I
Why,
think.
why didn't you stop at the first sentence?
Well, that wasn't a subject.
Well, so I think part of what happens in that instance is I will get the picture of the thing in my head.
Yeah.
And so like I don't read it, but like the picture's there. And so I can read it after you take it away. That makes
Interesting. Okay, yeah, sure. I can't do that. That's not how my attention works.
Sorry, I read chat and they said,
What's up?
I recommend watching Megapolis intoxicated and not in the same room as the movie itself.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that could be fun. I don't know. I'm interested. That'll be fun. But we might have to wait for November.
There was some other questions about casting stuff if we know it. I do want to agree with Jake was typing on the Blindwave account, but if we don't have a reaction or something on podcast or anything about it, like usually assuming that we don't know is usually the right answer. Like
Yeah.
a lot of times people come in and be like, "Oh man, you see this guy's gonna be this," and I'm like, "No, I didn't."
Sure.
So, like,
And that is the worst way to find out something.
it is, yeah. So usually asking vaguish questions is usually the better way if you
Yeah.
want to ask that question. But usually the best thing is, like he had said, like assume that we don't know,
Yeah.
and then like try to see if we want to know.
Sure.
So this one was talking about Harry Potter casting news, which I don't know anything about Harry Potter casting news.
The
show.
TV show.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
whatever they're doing with that. So I haven't seen anything with that.
Yeah. I mean,
In
I
fact,
think
there was a show. I can't remember what it was, and I had seen something that was a spoiler for like a show that I think that we watch, and I was like, "Dude, that's real cool." And I'm pretty sure Eric had asked me if I knew something about this at some point, and now I forgot everything that it was, and I can't remember what show it was. I'm just
Yeah.
like, "Dude, this looks awesome," and then I was like, "Eric, I saw what I think it was."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Well, what was it?" And I'm like, "I don't remember." He's like, "Do you want me to tell you?" He's like, "No. I don't remember. I should forget now and just not remember it, but I can't remember what it was.
I think I forgot what you were talking about, but I think I just remembered.
But I think it was exciting.
I know
and
this
now
is really
forget.
frustrating for anybody
So,
listening.
I know. It's gonna be like the Christian Bale. What was his name?
Gore.
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 Yeah, it's gonna be that thing again. Where I'm
Yeah.
like, Christian Bale's in this movie.
That was my favorite thing about that iteration of Gore.
You have the best mind for a reactor, Aaron.
Yeah. Right?
There's a lot of things I try to not.
It's like a sieve.
I try to hold on to all this stuff I know I need to hold on to. Like
It's just-
sometimes trying to hold on to Pokemon knowledge is hard.
Yeah.
Because
Oh no, I
there's
get
so
you.
much
Like
in that realm.
when
too,
I was
you
a
know?
kid, like I watched Star Wars over and over again because I didn't really have a whole lot else. Now there's just you have so much, you'll never watch everything. You
Yep.
know, so I think a lot of that memory and repetition comes with repeated viewings.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also not a bad thing about being a reactor, but a lot of people that are coming to watch you react to something really love that thing, have watched it multiple times, and will kind of place that expectation of observation on you where, you know, like I'm not going to get every detail. I'm not going to remember every single thing correctly, you know.
Sure.
I am going to be like, oh, that's cool. And like, they told you that last year, you know, oh shit, I forgot. So that happens too.
I'll always remember someone who was asking if people realized something in Torchwood that was like a twist towards the end of a season.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, how would they know that? Like,
Yeah.
why are you posting what this is? Quit telling them
Sure.
that that's what this is.
Yeah.
Because now, if they see that, the reaction won't be the same, you know?
Yeah. I
So,
get you.
like, but that's also, like, in the hindsight, like, oh, this stuff was hidden here, you know? Watching Sixth Sense or something, you know, is a little different. When
Well, no,
when
yeah,
you
it's
know
a
it,
it's a whole different experience.
and you're looking for different things than what you were looking at for the first time. But I also don't expect people to catch all that the first time either,
Yeah.
you know? But yeah, I get you. But that's why I know like some movies so well is because as a kid, I was
Yeah.
talking to my kids about this yesterday actually, was just like, how much, you know, do you guys like watch the same thing very much? And it's like, I've watched like some Spider-Man movies a few times, but like,
Sure.
I used to watch Star Wars like every night. It was like my bedtime routine.
Like I watched the
you
first
know?
3 Spider-Man movies 20 times each.
Yeah.
I've watched the Andrew Garfield movies twice, and I've watched the newer movies except for maybe twice as well.
Yeah.
Except for No Way Home. I've watched that a couple times.
Yeah.
But I
it's-
tend to watch scenes now on YouTube as opposed to like going and finding the whole thing, watching the whole thing all the way
Sure.
through.
But there's just, I was like, when I was a kid, what I had access to was like what we had VHSs of,
Yeah.
or like what was on TV. Like the idea of like, I'm just watching this because that's what's on.
Yeah.
You know, like I've searched through the TV guide for 30 minutes and this is just what I pick and it's
Sure.
just what I have.
Yeah.
As opposed to like, there's so many options. Just having Disney Plus or Netflix, like there's a lot of stuff you could pick from. You know, you don't have to watch the same thing over and over. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, my daughter's a lot like me in that, like 8 times out of 10, she wants to rewatch something she's already seen rather than watch something new.
Sure.
But if rewatching something that you've seen a bunch of times is your thing, make sure if you haven't, you check out our high end dries. That's pretty much what they're designed to do. Is
Sure.
watch a thing that you've seen a bunch that you absolutely love
Just
and
be
that
able
you
to
can
talk about
discuss to
them.
death.
But yeah, no, it doesn't really sound like, at least when I was talking about like Kanan and Coulson, like they don't really do that
Not
much.
really.
You know?
Well, they have a lot of options.
There's a lot that you
Yeah.
can pick from.
Do
you
they
know?
play video games again?
I mean, yeah, they play video games, and like they play like the same game for the
Yeah,
most part.
that's cool.
They don't really jump around. Like it's a
Well-
lot. They play a lot of Smash Brothers. They play Fortnite. They play like
that's not quite what I'm.
It's not quite like Ocarina of Time.
Yeah.
Like I played Ocarina of Time 15 times, but if Ocarina of Time had like a multiplier like component, like I guess that's what you mean.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
no. I mean, like
Not like a single player
Leon's
experience.
more of a single player gamer.
Sure.
I think the other two like playing like maybe more socially, or I don't know, but
Yeah.
no, I don't. I only know Leon to have played like Breath of the Wild, and he's like, I think he played Tears of the Kingdom. He's like, now I'm going through it again and doing this way or doing this different or something. So he does that kind of stuff.
Sure.
But even in the game world, like there are a lot of games. I feel like there's more. I don't know if there must be more games than when I was a kid. But there was also a lot of games when I was a kid that I didn't have. But I only had what my parents bought me, which was usually like a game here and there.
Yeah.
And that was the game I had. So I clearly just played a game over and over.
I would get a
you know?
game for birthday and Christmas, and then every once in a while, because we're only allowed to get 2 movies at the rental place. Every once in a while, I could convince my brother to not get a movie and get a game, and I would play a game for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And if I didn't beat it, it just went back. No one cared. So
Yeah.
that was how I did games back in the day.
But now, like, you know, there's this subscription-y kind of things like Game Pass that are kind of like Netflix, or where like you can just, all right, well, if we pay this for a month, you get access to all these games. You can pick from so many things,
I want to say like I'm jealous. Like that would be cool to have all that choice when I was a kid, but now I'm going like, oh,
that's a lot.
My
of choice.
retirement's going to be sweet.
Sure,
I have so much to do.
Well, there's also like what do you end up gravitating to?
Yeah.
And what do you end up playing, or do you jump around a whole lot? Because there's also like there's so many free to play games.
Yep.
Like there's League of Legends and Fortnite and Marvel Rivals. Like those are just 3 games that like you can just put them on your computer and just start playing. You don't need really anything else. So,
Sure.
I don't know. It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, and also like when it comes to TVs and movies, I didn't have reactors when I was a kid, but like oftentimes when I really liked that, I like to watch it again. I might go and find a reactor that has a completely different worldview than I do, or comes from a completely different part of the world than I do, and see what they thought. And that can be a cool experience too.
I watched a VHS tape back when it was Rick and I were working on our website for video games and stuff. Rick recorded trying to do a walkthrough for Metal Gear Solid 2.
Yeah.
And I watched the VHS, not of him, but of the gameplay.
Hell yeah.
With no audio from him or anything. It was just me watching Snake.
Yep.
Traverse, and it was
Watching expert gameplay.
thinking back now, I'm like, I just watched it, It wasn't like no interaction with Rick. It's just like, all right, which way does he go next? Okay, he's going that way. Okay, yeah. All right, yeah, this is a walkthrough. Yeah. I don't know what I was thinking.
Dude,
but I watched like the whole tape.
I have VHS tapes at home, those 6-hour blank tapes you could get. I would record on my VCR me playing Ocarina of Time, and like I needed to make it feel like Link was a real person. So he can't run everywhere. Real people don't run everywhere. They don't run from this person to this person. They walk. When they come to a road, they look both ways. There's legitimately an entire playthrough of Ocarina of Time. I should go find it.
Yeah.
Entire playthrough of Ocarina of Time of me doing that. Because I wanted the movie version.
The movie version?
Yeah. It's not edited. It's the entire game. But, like, the way Link would act in the cutscene is how I would act in the gameplay.
Yeah, I would have playthroughs of like GTA 3 or whatever where it's like, okay, I'm following all the traffic laws.
Yep.
Stop at the light.
Oh, man.
But then you have an accident and the cars go crazy or something. Like you bump into, dang it. Or they hit you and then who knows what happens.
Yeah.
Chaos.
Yep. I would do that sometimes, and then you would do that thing where you save real quick, and you're just like, I'm just going to destroy the world for 5 minutes and then get back to it. Do a reset. See if I can get tanks spawning on me.
Get tanks. Oh. But yeah. Anyway, I was just thinking about that. I think we talked kind of about that one time. So I was like, hey, just me, Colson, and Kanan sitting here. I'm going to ask them.
Yeah, sure.
Do you guys rewatch stuff?
Yeah.
And
I find when I do rewatch things, I enjoy them sometimes more.
Sure.
The second time, depending on what it is.
Depends. Sometimes I feel like I just don't have the time to rewatch stuff sometimes,
I started watching Lost when I was at Liberty University, and I was very depressed and wasn't enjoying a whole lot of things about my life, and I didn't like it. Like the first 6 or 7 episodes, there was one episode I'm like, this was cool, I'll keep watching, but I was just like, maybe this isn't for me. And then 2 years later, I started watching it again. Loved every second of it, So sometimes you're just not in the right spot for a certain piece of media.
Someone asked if has anyone ever role played in an MMO? Similar fun as to making Link walk, I think. I was on an RP server in WoW.
Yeah.
And I remember there'd be Christmas parties and everyone's acting in character. You hit the button to walk, you're walking in.
Sure.
And there's emotes you can do and stuff. It's a little bit more than you could in in Link with Ocarina of Time. You couldn't necessarily make him bow or anything, So there weren't so many emotes you could do. But yeah, I remember doing that. It was a lot of fun to be this character.
I never really played a whole lot of MMOs. I played Star Wars Galaxies when it came out.
Star Wars Galaxies. That one probably also had a cool RP scene.
It was pretty cool.
Being able to role play as being a Jedi, as opposed to just saying things like, sup?
Yeah.
You know, like, LOL.
Sure.
I just think about a Jedi doing that.
Yeah.
It'd be funny.
I'm sure I would like it, but I'm always afraid of, like, I can tell when I'm going to like something so much it'll take over part of my life, and I can avoid it. Like, legitimately, I never watched Avatar: The Last Airbender until we did it on the channel, because I just, like, I had friends like, have you seen it yet? And I'd be like, no, and they'd, tell me some stuff or whatever, or just how much it excites them. But I'd be like, I don't have room, I only have 6 Pokemon on my team, I can't have a 7th,
Phil, awful. I know usually we cover the subs and stuff towards the end, but Mad Noel resubscribed with Prime and said best thing about some of those Arrowverse reactions was getting to the Q&As and reading the we've known about this reveal since it was announced 10 months ago, and Eric and Aaron going, what? Why?
You get mad.
Good times.
I'm sorry that people were denied that. Yeah, I mean, did we ever watch the trailers, next week on Arrow? Did we ever watch those?
I've never gone back to watch them.
I know, we used to do, the separate Q&A videos, but I can't remember if we ever watched those or not. But, yeah, I don't know.
Sure, because every week they'd have another one, right? Where it's next time. We'd always nope, not watching that.
But, yeah, that was definitely a staple of our Arrowverse reactions, is people living vicariously through our ignorance.
Alrighty. I don't see anything else for those. No, Severance poll, it's not the winner has not been announced. Reveal for that.
Not yet.
I don't even remember when the show
I know,
starts.
because I made a hint hunt.
Oh, you did?
See, you got time.
So let's see. I believe it drops on the 9th, the show itself. So the hint hunt will be before that.
So there's a little time, and you can wait on the hint hunt.
Yeah.
And you can participate in the hint hunt if you guys haven't. Especially, I know people on Twitch do. I don't know how many people on YouTube do, but on Discord there is a whole hint hunt channel where the community tries to solve the hint hunt.
Yep.
And you can go there and try to help them solve it. Sometimes you can just go and try to help boost morale. A lot of times people jump in there and I don't know what's going on, but good job, guys.
Oh yeah, the meme of "Are you winning, son?" is very, very appropriate in there.
Yeah. Right.
Yep.
And the last 2 have been fueled by the brain of an 11-year-old. So this one's me back to my full power.
Yeah.
It also makes me think of what's the Leslie Nielsen airplane one where it's we're all counting on you, that kind of thing, and then he just shuts the door. He's like,
Yep.
It's all on you guys. Good luck.
Yeah. And then oftentimes the community gif of Troy walking in with pizza and everything's on fire is also extremely appropriate too.
Yeah.
I've missed out on the last 2 wave, because hint hunts, because sometimes they do it quick, or sometimes it takes forever. I don't peek in the channel, but it is fun to even go back when it has solved, and I get to watch the entire thing all at once. Those are fun.
Oh, also, last Saturday I think it was. I missed it, but there was the second comic book for the Star Wars comic read through that we did.
Yes, sir.
If you guys haven't checked those out, we have some comic read along reaction type of videos that we've been doing over on Wave Squadron for Star Wars. Check those out. Let us know what you think of it. Let us know in the comments. But we've also talked every once in a while about what if we did this for other stuff too? That could be fun. There's some Power Ranger comics that could be fun. There's other superhero stuff, Ninja Turtles, all kinds of stuff.
Oh, definitely. There's some classic comics that we could do too. Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be fun. But yeah, they're I love having Calvin there and just being able to play with his impressions.
Yeah.
It's fun. Aaron also will swing for the fences and make it gets to the point where it doesn't sound like the person he's doing, but it itself is so fun that I don't even care.
So now it's a new person.
Yep.
It's just that's that character now.
Yeah. But no, the last one had a Christopher Walken in it, and it was awesome because the actual comic tells you when to stress on a word. It'll be in italics. That's where the inflection happens.
Okay.
But Christopher Walken, by definition, does the wrong words.
Yep.
It was perfect. It was amazing. Loved it.
It would be fun.
And it just also satisfies that we get to actually do the onomatopoeia. So if it's ZRT, zert, 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 you know?
Wow.
Yeah, so you get to live out like a childhood. You're playing out in the woods with your friends with zap guns.
Nice.
So those are a lot of fun. People should check those out.
Someone said, "Did you read the Avatar: Last Airbender comics?"
We haven't, but
we haven't done those.
yeah.
I might have done one of them before.
Mm-hmm.
I think I might have read one of them or something, but there was like 2 or 3 of them.
Yeah.
But that could be a fun thing to go through too.
Well, I mean, we would know what everybody sounds like.
Yeah.
Part of the fun of reading comics that you don't know that is you get to make it up.
You get to make up a voice.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's harder to let me try to replicate this voice versus just giving it a new voice. So.
Yeah, I'm not the best at impressions, but I can get a cadence down enough, I feel like sometimes. It was funny. One person was like, because there was a Mace Windu thing, and someone was like, okay, Eric doesn't sound like Mace Windu, but he sounds like T.C. Carson, who voices Mace Windu in the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh yeah, that's what I was going for, I guess.
But do you sound like T.C. Carson doing Mace Windu?
No.
Or do you sound like T.C. Carson?
He said I
times?
sound like T.C. Carson doing young Kratos because he did young
okay.
Kratos. And I'm like, that's interesting. And then
That's
another
funny.
person was like, Eric's clone impression doesn't sound as much like D. Bradley Baker as it does the 2003 Clone Wars cartoon. I'm like, yeah, I think that's where I was getting that from.
Well, lots of times too, if when trying to do like a voice, like hearing it and trying to okay, like even when I was on stage and I was trying to do a British accent, I would have like a phrase that I would say that a couple times, trying to get my cadence and like the voice where I wanted it, and like, okay, all right, now I do the show.
Yeah.
And every time
I do
I had
that.
to go back out on stage, I'm like, okay, I got to do this again. But the hardest thing is, I think it's much easier when you're on stage and everyone's trying to do like the same accent or something.
Yeah.
Whenever it's just you trying to do the accent and no one else is, it's a little harder, I think, to hold on to.
I get you. Yeah. I have those. My favorite is Michael Caine's because all I have to do is say his name.
Michael Caine.
Michael Caine. Size
of a tangerine.
Michael Caine.
But like, if you're gonna do his voice, you say Michael Caine first, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And if you're into Arnold, you just have to scream.
We got to do Jaws 4 one of these days.
I don't know if I've ever seen Jaws 4. I don't think I have.
It's a treat.
I haven't seen Jaws past the first one.
We should do that on the first week of November. Does that kind of branch that bad horror movie?
We're gonna fill up November quick.
Sure.
We're gonna fill November quick because I just said. What?
In the chat.
Chat.
He's here.
Hey, everyone just got here. I missed Dark Souls 3.
That's not how you
talk
say
by-
it. You say, I am here.
But I just saw it in the replay. It was an honor to be your Breen, Aaron. And we beat the boss. It was great. I was so happy for it.
Now.
Editor?
The editor position.
We did post we posted that we were looking for a video game editor. I've had a lot of people asking about the Dark Souls 3 highlights and that they enjoyed them and they wanted to see those back and stuff. So we haven't been able to get those consistently rolling out again. So we are looking for people that want to do editing for game stuff,
our
whether
gaming
it's
channel.
streams or also extra stuff, like things that we want to do for the gaming channel that maybe we aren't streaming. Because I know some people are like, we don't have a ton of time for all of us. I haven't even played Outlaws yet.
Yep.
And I've been like, should I stream that? Should I not stream it? Should I just do it on my own? Like, there's elements where maybe we could record stuff, not stream it, and then maybe that could at least get a highlight of some sort or something. So we don't have that done yet.
Well, yeah, if you're interested, please send in to jobs@blindwave.com. I was going through them this morning, doing more. So
and seeing the name in chat that was talking about it, I think I know which email that person sent in. So I have an assumption.
Gotcha.
I don't know if it's real or not, but I have an assumption. Do you guys have a cutoff date? No, I do not have a cutoff date. The end of the month. I don't know. I'm hoping to have someone picked here within the next week at least, or more than one if we pick more than one or whatever we do.
April 1st is coming fast.
so fast.
My favorite time of year because more One Piece.
We are.
But also,
I love
we're having
that
a big
intro.
website update coming the 1st.
Oh, yeah, we do, don't
website.
we? April is
indeed.
crazy. April is marking our 10-year anniversary. But with that comes a lot of things. A really cool stream and some website stuff.
Yep, I'm gonna make a post and a video about it and put it, but there's going to be a new sort of experience system that you're able to get by coming to the site and doing things on the site. And you're going to be able to spend those points to do cool stuff, like buy a virtual Blind Wave trading cards,
Yeah, the cards are so cool.
which we've revealed some of that on podcast previous.
Uh-huh.
But there's a bunch of fun stuff that you can do the points for.
Yeah.
So that'll be coming on the 1st, early that morning, our time. The site's going to be down for a few hours.
Yeah.
And then it should be back up and better than ever.
Yep.
So-
I really look forward to people checking out all the stuff that's coming.
Yeah, so if it's down on April 1st, it's supposed to be. It's not a joke, and it'll be back up. Just give us a little bit of time. We'll probably. I don't know what time our videos have usually been going up, but they might go up a little later on April 1st.
Yeah, if it's the weekdays, it's usually Jancy posting, and she can post real early. And it's the weekends, well, that's me posting. And sometimes I need to sleep in, so they might go up a little later. But yeah, we'll make sure that everything's up and running before we post that day.
But no, I'm looking forward to that, and I hope you guys have fun with some of the new updates to the website. Why is that a question today? Why
What's
does
up?
Aaron hate A Christmas Story?
Why do you hate A Christmas Story?
I also
It's
hate A
such-
Christmas
it's-
Story.
Oh my God, it's such a
Yes!
classic.
Rick and I have never agreed. Well, we
Man.
have, but so hard.
That doesn't give you doubt? You're cheering.
No.
That doesn't make you go like,
So there's times when Rick does stuff and I'm like, I do not understand this. And
Uh-huh.
there's times like when I'm like, oh, Rick and I both love Cobra Kai, I understand it. But when we both hate something, I understand it. And that's so I understood. I think it comes from I've never really watched it. I've seen individual clips while it was nonstop airing 24 hours a day on like TNT or TBS or all of those channels.
Hey, Aaron, it's on TBS 24/7. You should be able to watch the whole thing. You have so many chances.
It wasn't streaming where I could just pick the time to watch it. I
Just look at TV Guide, see when it starts next.
I was just like, I don't know. Yeah, I know you got a cool wagon and a gun, and then Santa push you down a slide.
That's so little of what makes that movie good. So little. We need to. That should be our December high. No, it can't be high and dry.
Look, someone else said I hate it too. I like that person.
Good that more wrong people
Yes.
exist.
I'm with
Wonderful.
Rick and Aaron. Yes. I don't care for Christmas movies. Well, I don't. Care so
I know,
I'm drawing
I
a
know.
line now.
Yeah, I'm kidding. Mine is nostalgia. Mine is like when I think of that movie is Christmas because it is on while I'm opening my new game. It is on while I'm reading my new
Of course,
comic
it's
book.
on. It's on all the fucking time.
For that one day. That magical one day, Aaron.
Every year.
You don't watch The
At
Grinch
least
every
the-
year?
At least the 007 Days of Christmas they ran were multiple movies.
Multiple movies. That's
Like
true.
James Bond had a lot of movies. There was only one Christmas Story, and it was nonstop, over and over.
You've watched Star Wars how many times in your life? That hasn't stopped you.
Sure, but
Yeah, I've had that on 24 hours.
That was a choice. This channel didn't give you the choice.
You could change it. You
I
can change the
did.
channel. Oh, what a great movie, man. Oh.
I mean, I love a lot of Christmas movies, though. Like,
No, you know what? I would love to do it on High and Dry because High and Dry is fun, but High and Dry becomes a debate. That's also fun too.
does that mean I have to watch it then before?
Well, you've seen it all, you say.
No, I remember seeing clips of it.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant like I've seen it all, but like not in order.
I can't tell
Okay.
you what the general story is. I
Yeah.
just know, like, kick a kid down a slide, I think he stuck a tongue to a pole. I think he had a gun. I think he had a wagon.
All true. Don't forget about the lampshade.
I don't know what that means.
Well, the lamp.
It's an amazing
I don't know what
reward.
that means either. I don't know about a lamp or a lampshade.
The boy, his teeth. Ugh. Oh,
Try the 24 hours of Star Wars Christmas special, and I'm sure it'll drive you nuts.
yeah. There's no way I could do that.
See?
I've never rewatched that. Except for scenes, I guess. And Disney Star Wars keeps trying to canonize it again. It keeps coming back up.
I think they're trying to canonize the Life Day aspect, but maybe not all.
No, they're it's an
was-
Easter egg. They're honoring what came before.
There
I
was,
get it.
something that was pretty specific to that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I like the last episode of Edge Runners where everyone saw the episode except Aaron, who hadn't seen anything.
That was quite fun.
Holy, I mean that was a cool episode.
Yep.
I don't know what happened. I still don't know what happened in the rest of that show, but that episode was crazy.
We also did that with Rick in an episode of Sandman.
Yeah, I didn't feel like that episode was quite as impactful as the one that Aaron saw. But
That was also kind of like a strange episode.
it was.
Not strange, but different type of episode than everything else in it.
Sure.
But it had Einan in it.
Oh, I know.
David Thewlis.
I need to watch that show just for him.
Yeah.
When there's a few times I think about like an episode where we did something different. So like there's those two. I think of there was a Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood where I remember the thumbnail was 4 me's because I wasn't there and you guys are like, you gotta watch this episode. Just go react to it. We'll make it a thing.
Sure.
But then there was also the Terminator 4 episode
Yeah.
where I think we brought Calvin in.
Yeah,
Yes.
we watched something. We got drunk.
Yeah.
It was The Wicker Man.
we
The
did
Wicker
Man. Because Wicker Man
Oh,
wrecked,
I got real drunk for the
Yep.
Wicker Man, and Aaron probably got more
it was
drunk.
wrecked me, man.
Yeah,
But yeah, no. I had to rewatch that episode.
you did.
I think it made it into the cut. I don't remember, but like I didn't remember the episode.
Yeah.
Like
You were straight up asleep at one point.
Yep.
I probably was. That Wicker Man. Huh. So yeah, we gotta watch out for that sometimes. But those are the 4 I can think of like a weird reaction, a little different than what we usually do.
Sure, I get you.
Dude, I don't even think there were bees. Right?
In the cut, there were no bees that we
I was
watched.
so mad.
We had to look it up after.
Well, there were a lot of bees before that point.
There wasn't.
But there's
The
one
bees-
very memorable scene
yeah.
of bees that was not in the theatrical cut.
For like a week
shame.
after that episode thing, people kept talking about pandas, and I don't know why.
You don't remember why?
I don't remember why. The pandas. Something about the pandas.
Yeah,
I don't
no,
know.
you. I can't remember what was asked of you, but you were like, "Pandas are alive" or something like that.
We should be like pandas. There was the editor sent me a
No,
thing
it's
that was like,
we. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
We should
we
be
should
pandas.
be more like pandas.
It's we should be pandas.
Yeah.
should
And I
be
said,
pandas.
"You're right, Aaron. We should be pandas."
We should put that on a shirt.
Oh man,
We should be pandas. I don't remember why. I don't know why we're talking about that. But yeah, watching that again, I was like, man, that guy did talk. All right. Does anyone have any other things that they wanted to make sure we covered?
I don't have anything specific.
'Cause I also think that we can pull in questions because I saw some questions coming in.
I have some would you rather's.
Would you rather's? Would I rather what?
Would you rather ejaculate one sperm that's the size of a tadpole, or regular sperm but they can all talk?
Talk one.
You went to talking ones?
Why not?
Do you think they would like be screaming as they're dying? Because they die quick,
Oh, do they?
don't they?
I mean, depends where they go.
I don't know. I don't know what they have to say.
I guess, right?
They like eggs.
Now I'm just
This is why would you rather's are great, because it's
thinking about like,
someone's like, that's horrifying.
well, what's the benefit of? I mean, you could study it easier if it's the size of a tadpole. What's the benefit of that, though?
I don't know.
If
That was
it's just
just-
like them talking, and it's not necessarily giving them sentience, then I think I would choose talking.
Have you ever had times where it's like, man, I wish I could talk to this animal and understand things, but I don't want it to be like, oh God, why is the world like this? You know, I don't want that shit.
I think there's way more things you could do to avoid the talking ones than the tadpole-sized ones. Like,
Like
sure, well, that
Or
fits
you'd
the
avoid
both,
both.
but I mean, like, you know,
I mean, your testicles would be much bigger.
like,
yeah, if they're
soundproof.
tadpoles.
Yeah, you'd have to
know-
deal with that all the time.
Well, what if you only made like one in each one at a time? You know,
You'd still be like a tanuki.
kind of like eggs, right? Like I'm pretty sure women's eggs like.
Alternate.
One comes out this one, but then the next time it comes out this one, you know? Like, what if it was like that? It was like, today is the right, next day is the left.
Yeah, I would just put on noise canceling headphones and choose the talking one.
Mm.
Just ignore their existence.
Can you imagine just having like a little balloon full of like, hey, help, get me out of here. You know, like,
This is the first one I saw. Would you rather be
you're trying
able?
to push the blade. God,
Well,
I'm
I was
sorry.
thinking I
This
thought
is
you were
not
gonna
my
have like
fault
a
that the
big one in
conversation
the
went this
condom,
way.
and that's what kind of freaks me out.
Well, my first one was like listening to like, oh, what's it sound like inside there? You
Yeah.
know, like
Would you rather be able to converse with all animals, non-human animals, or have lifelong fluency in every human language?
human language.
Yeah, 100%.
Human language? You don't want to speak to animals? Think of all the things we can learn.
I've seen Dr. Dolittle.
Well, why don't you take that and I'll talk to every people and tell them what you learned from
I
the
can
animals.
buy a translator. I can't, or not buy. I can hire a translator. I can't hire Dr. Doolittle. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I mean, AI's gonna make that obsolete quick, man.
I guess so, but like I'd rather be able to talk to the people on the planet than I guess like am I just like any animal? I just hear them like Dr. Dolittle does, where it's just sometimes
Yeah.
like I don't want to
You
hear
talk with
animals, you know?
You can comprehend
Man,
their
the
thoughts.
world
I don't know.
is so loud. You're just walking down the street and you hear every single bug.
Sure, right? Or
Sure.
You would go insane.
or the
I go insane when I'm around a bunch of people.
You know,
Exactly. You would have no escape, Eric.
Yeah, but if there's a bunch of people that I don't speak their language, I'd be easier. You could tell. No, never mind.
like imagine the media then that it opens up and the movies and stuff you could just watch without having the subtitles thing, where you could just
Yeah.
like I could just watch Japanese anime like not dubbed but
Yeah.
subbed, but without having to need the subs, which is just
Yeah.
now it's just dubbed but original dubbed.
Now, this doesn't necessarily say that the animals, will have human-like thoughts
Right.
Sure.
or anything. They're not gonna be, hey, Eric, how are you? They might just be like, meat
Yeah.
or something. I don't know.
What if you
The one
walk
dude's
into
in Dragonheart.
Yeah, meat.
you walk into Red Lobster and there's the fish tank with the lobsters in there and they're like kill me,
Yeah,
like
I'm sure it would probably turn me into a vegan.
yeah, right? Like I like meat.
Sure.
I want to think the same as that animal you just mentioned.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I'd rather yeah, what about Jancy? Would Jancy's like gonna crush a spider and he's like, no, please, I have 500 children, like, don't crush me.
If I could say like, hey, please leave my domicile. You can go out to this tree. They might do it.
Is that what? Can you converse with them, or you can hear them?
Like, are they now capable of reason?
I think that if I can understand them, I should be able to say that they can understand me, because on the inverse with the humans, I'm able to speak with them, they can understand me.
Yeah,
but
that's different.
is it like a toddler can understand you? Where it's like, yes, they kind of understand, and I understand them,
Sure.
but I can't get them to do complex tasks or understand object permanence. Or
Also, what chat? Like, I don't know exactly what they say, but
Yeah.
imagine cicada season, and you just go outside, and all you hear is like, "Fuck me! Where are you? Come fuck me! I'm ready!" Like, oh god.
Yeah, right.
Like, I don't know what they say during that.
Well, nah, you're right. I thought it was a fun one, but now I'm thinking about all the untold animal suffering that
What-
exists in the world.
What was that bird saying outside your house when it would go?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I
either.
could have found out, though. Maybe it was a beautiful, love poem.
Maybe.
We just don't understand.
Maybe.
Okay. I might go, I don't know. I like the animal one the most.
Sure. But think about, like, you get to watch RRR and you can just understand what they're saying and everything. You get to watch.
I understood.
You get to
I
watch
just need
anime
to look into their
and
eyes.
you don't have to read it. You can hear everything from the
You're right.
from Japanese All Might.
That would be cool. I'm not saying it's not cool.
Yeah.
Would you rather have an extra arm or an extra leg?
All right. Have an extra. No.
I feel like an arm with an extra hand is pretty valuable.
Yeah.
What? Why would an extra leg be?
You're more stable.
Is
Yeah.
it?
Yeah. Your tripod is far more stable than a
Bipod.
bipod.
I don't know. I think an extra arm would be nice.
Yeah. I think
I
I'd
could
have to
hold
go
my
arm.
sandwich while grabbing chips. Like instead of like, and then
That is the dream.
like I can just the chips are there waiting, just
Yeah.
great. Yeah, I don't know. Like Machamp, Goro, they seem to be knowing what they're doing. I'll take at least one extra arm, I think.
You give me like 2 extra legs for a centaur, then maybe we're talking.
Dude, yeah, you could eat. You could grab your drink while you're playing a game. You know when you ever? I don't know, Eric. You're doing PC stuff a lot more recently. But
I am.
like, whenever I'm playing, like if I'm playing like Marvel Rivals,
Yeah.
and there's like that moment where like, God damn, my nose itches. Or Dead by Daylight is the worst one because you're on a generator and there's that little game and it goes bing and every time I'm like, oh damn, I gotta itch my nose. Ding, fuck. You know, like,
sure.
I could just itch my nose when I want to and not have to worry about it. Like that would be really cool too.
The N64 controller would definitely make more sense.
Yep.
I can't find a time when I think I would need a third leg though.
I mean, it's a spare, I guess.
Yeah, but I don't think it would help me more in my general life as an extra arm would in my general life.
You'd probably be better at like rock climbing, stuff like that. But I don't do a lot of that.
Sure. Where would it be?
Yeah, I'm not really sure.
That's the thing. Like, where does my extra leg and extra arm come out at? Because that might be a determining factor.
I would imagine the leg goes behind,
Behind what?
like out your butt,
Out my like
out your like where your tail would
above
be,
the butt.
like where the tailbone is.
So it's a tail leg.
Yeah.
But like the arm, I kind of went in the
Where
front.
does it go when I poop on the toilet?
Well, it's above your butthole.
Well, sure, but like,
Well, we would have to change toilets.
Yeah.
we
Don't
gotta
be
make
ridiculous.
A whole new toilet now.
The whole
You gotta
yeah.
have 3-legged toilet people and 2-legged toilet
Well, I
people.
mean-
Or you could just go outside and you can just tripod it.
Chairs would change, like everything would change.
Think about how much you can squat tripoded.
Sure.
You know, you can get low to the ground, man.
Yeah.
Real low, comfy.
I don't know. I'm on the arm bandwagon. I think. I don't know if
Agreed.
I don't think a third leg above my butthole will help me run faster.
I mean, I didn't. That wasn't my claim.
Well, someone's like, "Would you be running faster?" But I don't think that will help me run. I don't even know
Maybe.
how it helps me to begin with, except for the idea of squatting more.
Cartwheels might be more safe.
I would
Cartwheels
rather-
with it coming out above my butthole.
Well, you have to change the directory of how you're doing it, but look, a lot's gonna change. But you're probably gonna be rich.
Is my arm just like under one of my other arms?
I'd imagine it like.
Don't say my belly button or some shit.
I won't say it then.
Damn it, Eric! Why is it coming out my belly button?
I don't know. It'd be perfect for like eating corn on the cob, right there.
These are fine for eating corn on the cob,
I'm using these.
but just put another one under here.
I'm
I don't
preparing
want
the
arm-
next cob.
I don't want an armpit under my belly button.
Like, I'm pretty sure I'd rather have a monkey tail than another leg.
Yeah, right? Like
Yeah.
a spider monkey tail?
Yeah.
That's like a prehensile tail?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, that would be cool. Or a tail like Tigger.
Sure.
I bet he can squat some shit on that tail.
Yep.
You know? And it's also above his butthole.
It is.
But he can move it. There's no bones, right?
There
or-
doesn't seem to be.
Or a lot of cartilage or like little bones that can bend a lot. I don't know how it works.
I'm pretty sure they're stuffed animals, right?
Well, not in the real world.
Oh, I see.
All right. Well, would you rather be able to read minds or see
Yes.
the future?
Oh. No. I'm going my first instincts. Read
Yeah.
minds is always like my go-to superpower.
Yeah.
I can turn it off, right?
I would say you can turn it off. Yeah. You have a choice to see the future or to read someone's mind.
Yeah, I want to read minds.
Can I change the future?
Rookie said Aaron can already see the future.
I would say that if you're able to read minds, you're able to affect things. So that's the only way seeing the future makes sense to me.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can change the future if you see it.
I don't
Okay.
know.
Yeah.
I mean, technically, if you think about it, if you're seeing the future of how someone will act, it's kind of like reading their mind.
It kind
how
of is.
far?
Into the future?
And also, I think like depending on how this future thing works, me reading a mind and knowing what someone wants versus seeing like, oh, well, I was gonna give them this sandwich and they did not like that. Like, how much can I influence? Like, what if I gave them a cake? Like, do I have a cake around? Do I have to have a reasonable futuristic event that I can see that way? Or like how vast into directions can I see?
I would say, yeah, I don't know about the distance.
Because
I would say that, like, if you do nothing, the future that you see will come to pass, but you can affect it coming to pass. You can't necessarily, like, control exactly what's going to happen, but you can try to avoid what you've seen. or try to make sure what you've seen happens. I don't know.
Can I read the mind of someone whose language I don't understand, or do I hear that language, or am I like seeing?
So is it in English when you read their mind, or is it in their language when you read their mind?
I would say that if you saw them in the future, they wouldn't you wouldn't be able to understand them if they were speaking. So you shouldn't be able to understand them if you're reading their mind.
Okay. That's tricky. I think I would go with reading mind.
Reading minds.
But I think it's close.
Okay, I'm gonna go future.
I'm gonna read minds, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. How far into the future?
Well, how can we use the reading mind and try to balance it in terms of how far into the future?
Well, see, because
you're reading minds is you're doing it instantly in the moment.
Yeah,
right?
I don't have the same question there because, I'm not gonna try to read their. I'm not reading their past mind. I'm just reading their mind there.
Yeah.
So, like, in telling the future, like, what dictates the future? Because, like, can I see my death if that's 20 years away, or can I only see like the next minute?
Yeah, like, do I see my future? Do I see the future of the area that I'm in?
Yeah, is the future from my perspective?
I'm gonna say you can see. I guess I want it to be good enough where it's tempting, but not so much that's OP. So you can see a fortnight into the future.
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
And I can see.
Not gonna happen in 2 weeks.
I can see all of that 2 weeks.
Anything that you want to see in 2 weeks, you can see the future of.
No.
Or maybe anything you're in the presence of, you
Yeah.
can see its future because you have to be in someone's presence to read their mind. Like I can't be, here and then read Trump's mind because he's in Washington D.C.
Sure.
Sometimes.
But like you said, like if you don't do anything, this is what the future is.
Yeah.
So is it 2 weeks if I just am I seeing myself go to work, drive the kids to school, doing that kind of stuff, or am I seeing myself like 2 weeks around me if I just stayed in this house and didn't go nowhere?
I would say you can just instantly see 2 weeks in the future of any object you're focusing on.
Of an object I'm.
And you can see all those 2 weeks leading up to the 2 week thing. So you could be like looking at your kids and being like, "Yep, that seemed all normal," or "Oh, a car crash," in 2 days, that type of thing. You take another route.
Having seen ReZero, that feels like an incredible burden.
Yes,
So
I can see that. But being able to infiltrate people's minds, that could hurt you too.
it can, but if you can turn it on and off, you just never turn it on,
That's true.
right?
Same thing with the future thing.
It is, but
Like I could just gamble.
but I would feel so much more responsible with the future thing, I think, than I would with the mind reading thing.
Sure.
Like if I was talking to someone and that person's a serial killer and I didn't read their mind, I would feel guilty. But I feel like that would come up a lot less often than being able to know the future and being able to change that.
If you were talking to someone and they were a serial killer and you didn't read their mind, why didn't you read their mind?
Well,
I guess I'm in the boat of like I can read minds. I'm reading everyone's mind.
Is it rude to read someone's mind? I guess you could just never tell someone. It's a big power to keep.
I would just
hidden.
read minds and not tell anybody. You ever see?
You wouldn't have any responsibility to use your powers for good?
Well, I mean, using my powers for good is deciding what to do after I read someone's mind.
True. You'd be like an
I
investigator.
think I would still try to be good. I don't think I would be like, oh, that's the safe combination. No. Excellent. I will steal the money tomorrow. But
and you could of them. You could start a religion.
you would be like the greatest magician ever.
Yeah.
Or whatever. But like, I don't know. It just feels like a invasion of privacy, I guess, to just use it all the time.
I would use it all the time and try to make everything as good
I
as I could
know you
because
would.
of it.
Do you remember that one time when we were testing your integrity? I'm like, Aaron, if I gave you a note, and I told you, give this to Rick, but don't read it. You'd be like, why wouldn't I read it? I was like, okay. You're like, if it's in an envelope, I won't read it because I won't break the seal of the envelope.
Yeah.
But if the envelope's open, I'll read it.
If you just folded it up.
I said, if I fold it up and I say, Aaron, do not read this, take it to Rick. Would you do it? He's like, I would turn it back. I look down and read it. So, yes, I do believe that you would read everybody's mind all the time.
So, Aaron,
But I would try to do as much good doing that as I could, though.
Yeah.
I think.
So, Aaron, if you had X-ray vision, you'd be looking at naked people all the time.
I think X-ray vision I might use differently.
Okay.
I would not be looking at everyone naked all the time. I don't think. But with mind reading, like I don't know if I'd walk down the street and try to like someone else I'm passing like read their mind maybe, but like talking to people I might. I think doing that, like using that to understand people better, I think I would try to use it to my advantage. I was born with this power and I want to use it.
I think I would give the other person the opportunity to allow me to do that.
Yeah.
With like certain parameters or whatever.
But I'm not telling anyone I
Pay
have
me.
the power probably either.
No.
And if I'm not telling anyone I have the power, then there's no way for me to ask for permission to read their mind without telling them that I have said power.
Sure.
So I have to just use said
Well,
power.
It might be kind of awkward, but you could say, like, hypothetically, if I could read your mind.
Yeah, but then if I start doing mind reading bullshit, and they're like, "Man, how'd you know that?" Wait a minute, you know, I don't want to give them any hints.
I guess.
If all of a sudden, like, I'm like, "Oh yeah, happy birthday, by the way," it's like, "Wait, how'd you know that?" It's like, "Oh shit."
I wonder if
But
reading
that-
minds, like, how useful would that be if you were, say, a lawyer?
Yeah,
Because, like, you have to have the evidence,
sure,
right?
but it could help you in like your talking, your cross examinations, like.
Yeah.
Like, if you could read the lawyer's mind that you're against, and they're like, as long as they
I mean,
don't
you
ask,
could read
if there was like, as long as he doesn't ask this question, we're good.
Yeah.
You're like, oh shit, I better ask that question.
you could
know?
read the jury's minds and see how they're like, what they're thinking, like
Sure.
what they need to hear in order to be convinced.
Sure.
You could read the judge if he's getting irritated for other reasons. You know, it'd be very good.
Yeah.
I suppose.
That would be good, or bad, I guess. But yeah, I would use it, and I would not do the future. The future,
Okay.
I feel like, like you have a similar thing there too, because you're deciding what you think the future should be if you can change it, right?
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
if I don't know, if something happens and you know these people do this stuff and you're like, "Oh man, I should stop that." You know, those people are going to break up. I should try to help keep them together. Well, maybe they should break up and they want to break up. If I could read their minds, I'd know.
Do you think everybody's mind can be read the same way? Because I know some people have like an inner narration,
Sure.
but other
Yeah.
people don't. You know,
Yeah.
they don't think that way.
I watched a video about people like reading a book and it's like, I just read the book. And
Like
someone
you-
else is like, well, what does it sound like? It's like, what do you mean, what's it sound like? And they're like, no,
Yeah.
I hear me. And sometimes if I think they have an accent, like it has an accent or, you know, like this kind of stuff. And then someone else is like, I don't hear anything. It's kind of like when we talked about imagination, I guess, right?
Yeah, it's like if you were reading the mind of someone with, say, alexithymia, and it's like,
Mhm.
okay, I want to know what this person is feeling.
Sure.
Like, oh, well, that person doesn't know what they're feeling.
Yeah.
So, like, do I get that, or do I get the feeling?
I get you. Yeah, that could be scary, depending, because if you feel feelings that you're not ready for, but you could also see futures that you're not ready to see too, I suppose.
That's true.
Someone
Okay,
just like, see the future and get the lottery numbers.
gotcha. Well, I have a big old list of them, but we should probably get into either some questions or some other stuff too. But they're fun. I want to do these more. I'll collect, because I had a collection a couple of weeks ago. Like, these ones are good, but I didn't save them.
Mhm.
Some of these are inappropriate for podcasts.
I'm curious on which ones are inappropriate. After like the first one you brought up was the sperm one.
Would you rather give up cheese or blowjobs?
Cheese. No.
I know what you're gonna say.
I know what he's gonna say too.
I get a lot of cheese. All right. We can grab some questions or something, I guess, here. And then
man.
we also have, I think there's memes, right, Jake? And there's a few Twitch subs and stuff too that we need to cover. So
Yeah.
all right. Let's see here. Daniel, we can bring this up, but actually this is something we kind of talk about every once in a while too.
Okay.
Assuming you've started season 2, how did you enjoy season 1 of Earth's Mightiest Heroes? And do you have any moments or elements that were in the show that you would have liked to see be incorporated into something like the MCU? Usually we don't try to necessarily talk about, like, we can give a general sense, but we don't usually go into too much with that. But most of it, I think, how I usually feel about the shows and stuff too, I usually put in the videos themselves. But no, I like Avengers. I think it's a lot of fun.
I love it.
The
last thing we watched almost made me stop.
Oh,
almost made you stop.
I know exactly what it was and what happened.
And I just hope it's not a trend.
I cried many tears.
So that's all I'll say about that.
But yeah, we're enjoying the show, and
Yep.
I definitely like a lot of characters in it.
My favorite Thor and Hawkeye. I think I've seen.
Yep.
Yeah.
Love Thor.
Yep.
I also like Janet a lot too, but I feel like her Sakura, where a lot of times I'm like, man, I really want her to get to do something because her little stinger things just kind of like tickle people.
Or destroy them, but it's incredibly inconsistent.
A little.
Refrin, I think there's been some conversation about this before. I don't know if there's a plan, but Eric, is there a plan to react to Dragon Ball Daima?
Oh yeah, I want to. I mean, our schedule was crazy. Next month will be even crazier. But as soon as something opens up for me, I want to try to get Daima done. I have not watched any of it yet.
I haven't either. Aqueduct says, in honor of Aaron's upcoming Gen 1 Pokemon playthrough, which I think is the first time me playing Pokemon Red and Blue on the channel at all. Like, we've done Fire Red and Leaf Green and stuff before, but I don't think ever the first Gen 1. But and the spirit of April Fools, did you guys know that Pokemon Farfetch'd was the first troll Pokemon? It is based on a Japanese proverb. A duck comes bearing a green leek on its back. It signifies a stroke of luck that's almost too good to be true, as stewed duck and leek are a classic pairing in traditional Japanese cuisine.
Interesting.
Making encountering a duck carrying a leek particularly begging to be cooked. Truly far-fetched.
Wow. No, I did not know that. More of those, please.
I'd heard that before.
That's cool.
Really cool information there, Aqua.
No, the only one I know was like Uno Dos Trace with the birds. Yeah. And then Abracadabra Alakazam is a good one. So. And then 2,000 years later, we have, you can go and, check out like all the different like canonization like stuff that the Catholic Church have, like trying to like, how do we change what people thought this meant into how it is now? Which I think is like it's an interesting read through the history of what people thought the spoilers were of the Book of Revelation,
Like you think the heads of Star Wars or Marvel had a tough time tribing the Catholic Church.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, tough, man. But like I personally really love the conversations of like comparing, Jesus saying like this generation will not pass before the kingdom of heaven comes, and then you have to like be like, okay, so a lot of generations have passed, so what does he mean?
Or what does generation mean?
Yeah, what does a generation mean? What does a day mean when it comes to the biblical creation story? That type of stuff is fun to talk about outside of the faith sometimes for me. But yeah, I don't know. And then Daima, I want to.
And then we'll, I think, end with this so that we can make sure we get through memes and everything. But Refren asked or said, I'm really enjoying the Good Place reactions from the crew. How can we get more reactions from Jake and Melanie? And are you guys doing rewatches in your free time before a new season comes back, or when new season comes up for a series, or do you just watch the new season?
I generally just watch the new season, but it depends on how confident I feel. Like some stuff, like I remember everything, and then while I'm watching, I'll be like, crap, I don't remember this part, But there are other times where I'm like, I should rewatch that. I have vague memories of it, but I should, rewatch. But reactions can be sometimes a good way of doing that quickly. But if I really love something, like when Game of Thrones was coming out, I would just rewatch Game of Thrones up until that new season, And I do that with a lot of stuff, but less so as the days go on and there's more and more content to consume.
Yeah, if it's an S or a borderline S, I'll usually rewatch at least the last season, but maybe the whole thing. Or if it's an anime, I might like read the manga. Or something.
It depends. Sometimes I've also just done like a catch up, like everything last season kind of video. But if I have time, I've rewatched some things. Lots of times with like Star Wars, I don't usually do it. I feel like I usually remember most of the Star Wars stuff, but there's other things that I try to. I just often don't have a lot of time either to rewatch things. Sometimes even just watching a new show at home, I don't have time to like do really.
Yeah.
So it sometimes will take me a long time to get through just some basic show. I watched The Mentalist at one point, and it took me a while to go through all of that.
Wasn't a rewatch, but I had to watch like 5 seasons of Ruby in a weekend
Yep.
one
You
time
certainly did.
in order to
Yep.
be in Ruby.
That was a great time, and you were so psyched.
I was.
Yep.
I was.
I still haven't finished watching the filler that I was watching that we missed in
filler.
Naruto.
Yeah.
So I still have been trying to finish catching up on that too, just because I wanted to see it.
I got to rewatch where we are at One Piece every year. You know, do that too.
All right. We have. I want to make sure I don't miss any of these things. I want to also cover subs from. We didn't do them from the Nintendo Direct this morning.
Okay.
Which also, guys, if you don't know, we have another Nintendo Direct April 2nd at 9 a.m. We'll be covering that.
Yeah,
And,
that's gonna be a good one.
Tomorrow we're gonna be playing Repo. So make sure you join us for that. It should be fun.
If you're on YouTube, that'll be on the Blind Wave Gaming channel.
Yeah, actually with that one too, the Blind Wave Gaming channel is going to have a different perspective than what the Twitch channel is going to have. I don't know that we've done that before, or if we have, we haven't done it for a while, but yeah, you're going to get 2 different perspectives from YouTube streaming and Twitch streaming. So
Cool.
all
I'm
right.
looking forward to that. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, I'm excited. Anarista resubbed, so thank you so much, Anarista.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Natasha Selena resubscribed with Prime for 21 months. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Said good morning. Jan Salat has resubscribed 84 months.
Yes.
Says it feels longer.
Thank you.
Sammy Boy has resubbed with Prime for 22 months. Thank you so much, Sammy Boy.
Bam. Sammy.
And guys, don't forget, if you have Prime, you can use it for whatever Twitch streamer you want to.
You can. We do have memes up too.
I wasn't looking at the memes.
Oh,
Should
Obi,
switch.
this is fine.
He's got the hat.
That's a neat logo. Hoff Kane has resubscribed with Prime for 20 months. Says, getting closer to that 2-year mark. Time goes fast, man. Happy podcast day, gents.
Almost 2 years. Wow.
Thank you very much. This meme is fantastic.
Yep. I appreciate that my face is out of focus.
Yep.
Mega Alakazam, man.
That's good.
Ms. Winter Soldier resubbed for 68 months. One more month till the big one.
Thank you.
That's the
Oh,
giant
that's from this
from
morning.
this morning.
Ah, yes.
The Tamagotchi
I
life or
was
whatever.
did not
so
recognize it at first.
confused. Oh, that's good.
The Frenzy resubbed with Prime for 84 months. Says, holy shit, 7 years. What a journey. Thanks for everything, guys. Thank you, Frenzy, for joining us for so long.
We are pandas.
We are
We are.
pandas. Dum 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 dum.
And you use my current beard. Cool.
What?
You're not using your Aaron's current beard.
I can do that real fast.
You couldn't.
Ranja Lumi subscribed for the first time with Prime. Thank you so much, Ranja.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ronha, maybe? I don't know.
Ronha.
Reefrin resubbed for 2 months. Happy to be here and hear the crew talk. Well, thank you, Reefrin.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Reefrin.
Refrin. Yeah.
Yeah, it's spelled like Freerin, and it's and it just messes me up. Dragon Master has resubbed for 45 months. 45 months, glad to catch another stream. Thank you, Dragon Master.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We have Death, who gave out 5 subs. Thank you so much for the gifted subs.
Careful about taking gifts from death.
Congrats to anybody who got a sub. Refreerin also gave out 10 subs. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys.
Wow.
Congrats to the people who got one.
10.
Mad Noel, I mentioned earlier, but thank you so much for the resub with Prime for 33 months.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Gara resubbed for 21 months. Thank you, Gara.
Blackjack.
Gara also gifted a sub to Dababa.
Thank you.
Thank you. Kazakage.
Fomarok subscribed with Prime for 67 months. Thank you so much, Fomarok. And 92 Chris Z has resubscribed with Prime for 47 months. Hi, have you heard that Ted Lasso is coming back for season 4? Football is life.
Really?
I think I heard about that somewhere.
Okay.
Actually, I think maybe it was
Cool.
in chat at some point. But the one thing I realized that I didn't know was that you in No Way Home, in the after credit scene, Football is Life. What's that character? I don't remember the character's
Danny
name.
Rojas.
Rojas.
Yeah, him. He is the bartender to
With Eddie?
Eddie.
Huh? Really?
When my kids were watching that this past week,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, football is life.
Football is life. Oh, I didn't know that.
Like, oh my gosh, I didn't know him then.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just thought that was really cool. So
Okay. Well, there's the other guy was Hercules. Roy Kent.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like when you watch what movie was that in?
Thor.
Thor: Love and Thunder. The after credits one. Yeah. Hercules is Roy Kent. I'm like, oh my god, I didn't realize the body hair. Of course it is.
So,
And then he never returned.
never return. Not yet. In the future. Maybe again. All right. Well, that's everything for that, guys. Like I said, we'll be back for Repo tomorrow. Monday is going to be my last Dark Souls 3 stream, fighting the final boss of the second DLC, the Ring City.
Playing until you finish.
The whole game. I will go until I finish. I'm hoping it's just getting to the boss and then battling the boss, because I don't know how much room there is there. And then if I end up beating it early, I might just like chat for a while. Usually I chat in the beginning and sometimes chat at the end too. But I'm over 300. I am not going to 400. I'm not. I hope not. I don't know how hard this boss is.
Please, Dark Souls gods.
Yeah. So.
Please.
But join us tomorrow for Repo at 3 p.m.
Neil Breen.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Goodbye.